Hello, welcome back to JJ's Baker House, and we're on week 4 of the Beginner Bakers course, and today we are in the world of ganache. So as you can see, I have a lot of chocolate behind me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the stages of the ganache, what you can do with each one, and the ratios and measurements and how you get the effect. We're going to do that. And then we're going to build a cake with it and get those sharp edges that we did last week and put them onto the cake using ganache this time, which is a really nice base for using fondant, which is what we're going to do next week. So, I've challenged you this week. We've made cake, but I've done it in advance because in week 1 we made cupcakes, and the chocolate cupcakes that we made in week 1 is exactly what we're making our cake out of. And I've not done this on camera because I'm going to let you follow the method exactly the same. It's so easy, it's just dry, mixed up, wet, mixed up. You'll see that in week 1. Okay, we'll put the exact ingredients that you need in your list as usual in the comments box. So you're going to make this chocolate cake, and then you're going to make your buttercream. Again, quantities will be given. Chocolate buttercream, all unassisted, I should say, as in week 1, this is all you're doing. Exactly the same method for this. You're using the method of putting it into the cake tins that we've used in both week 2 and week 3, so you now know how to line the tins, get them in, you know how to measure it out completely properly so that they're all the same size in the layers, and you know how to do your chocolate buttercream as well, not the Swiss meringue, just the regular chocolate buttercream. All the ingredients will be placed underneath and you can have a go at that on your own, and I really do think you're going to be absolutely fine to get to the stage that you need to do this. And what we're going to do today is we're going to make a gorgeous fudgy buttercream. So we're going to start with the chocolate base of the chocolate buttercream, and we are going to add ganache to this, and it is going to be so good. My children love this. Now this is fallen at the right time. It's my husband's birthday today, so this is going to be his cake, so let's hope I don't mess it up. Right, we're going to put this to one side. We are going to talk about all the ganaches. We're going to get the ganache because we need to add ganache to this. So we need to do all that first. So cake will be the last thing today instead of the first thing. So I'm going to put it this way. Right. Just no space. Right then, ganache. So ganache is chocolate and double cream. Okay, that's it. And then you can do 3 different things with ganache. You can make truffles. So I made these last night just to make sure that they'd all gone completely right. So this one here is firm now to the touch, and this was on a ratio of 2 to 1. So this was 2 for the chocolate and 1 for the double cream. So I added 200 grams of the chocolate chips, and then I added 100 grams, because I weigh my liquid, or mils, whichever, they're roughly the same, of double cream. Mix that, as we'll show you in a minute when we make the ganache that we need for today, and left it on the side, and it came out like this. And this is what you can make truffles with. So that's what we're going to do in a minute. We're going to ball these up and make some truffles with them. Okay, and then I made the drip. And I don't know if you've seen my video on the drip already. I will pop it in the description box underneath because it is a good tutorial to show you exactly how to get the drip. So here's my drip. Okay, and that is, a lot of people say that they use a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't quite find that the best. So I do mine, which is 150 grams of chocolate and 130 grams of double cream. That's what I stick to. It's just slightly out on that ratio, but I find that the best. So I'd left this overnight and it had gone quite solid. I mean, it's still, you wouldn't have got a drip out of it, so I just popped it back in the microwave. It's not quite there, so I'm going to go back over that with you in a moment and show you exactly what consistency you need it to be for the drip. So there's that one. So then there is also the ganache that you can make to do the outside of a cake, and you can whip this one as well. Now a lot of people can, it depends how dark you want it, you can make your ganache, you can let it set, and then you can put it on around the cake. Now I find that a little bit more difficult because the ganache is wetter, so as you're putting it on, it naturally as chocolate wants to fall, and you're trying to get it onto the outsides of the cake. You'll see as we go on, I love to whip mine because then it turns into more like buttercream, but we'll show you both ways, and we'll go from there. So to begin, this is a lot. I have got 400 grams, because we're going over the top of a cake and I don't want to run out. So I've got 400 grams of chocolate chips. Now you do want decent chocolate chips. For the white chocolate, I'm just going to be using store-bought chocolate chip, white chocolate chips. And I'm going to show you how to play around with the ratio a little bit on that, because white chocolate is so hard to get in bulk and it's so much more expensive. So I'm going to go down that road. Keep our fingers crossed we get that to work. So this, now I use, I think it's Belgrade, hang on, let's look. No, it's not. I use this chocolate chip, I think it's quite affordable. So that can be useful if that's what you want to use, or you can just use whatever you find easier. So 400 grams, 1:1, which makes 400 grams or mils of double cream. So there's a few ways of doing this. You can put this over the top of that, put it in the microwave, and let that go. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put this on the back and turn this on. And I'm going to set this to boil. Right, and then as soon as that is hot enough, I'm then going to pour it over the top and just leave it. If you're using, for your ganache, just a bar of chocolate, do not use cooking chocolate. It's not going to work. The cocoa solids aren't high enough in it, do not use that. So if you're using just chocolate that you're eating, what you want to do is, if it's a bar, cut it up as small as you can. The bigger the chunks, if you just take the chocolate off in chunks and put them in, those little chunks are so thick, it's going to take you ages to melt this. So make sure that as small as you can get them, just take a knife and just cut it all up and put it in, so that it gives that cream a chance to come down and melt it really. So whilst that's on, we're going to be making the cake. We're going to put a white chocolate drip over the top of the cake. I'm going to have a go at this gold drip. I don't like gold drip. I'm going to try the one that has been floating around on the internet, and it's the lemon juice and the gold drip and icing and the gold lustre dust and some icing sugar. So I think I've got a tablespoon in that. So we're going to see what that turns out like. We'll do it together because I've no idea. And then I am also going to attempt to make my own gold colour, because maybe I'm just stupid. So I've looked it up, and apparently I've got black. I do. Right, this is my array of colours. So apparently I need magenta, and I need like a bluey green, a black and a yellow. So yeah, I'm probably insane, but I tried to get the gold, and the ones I buy I don't like. And then I was thinking I could add some more lustre. I don't know. Look, I'm winging it with the gold because I just don't like the gold. I don't like having to paint it on. You make such an effort on this cake, and if for some reason you just come off with your stroke on the side, you've made the effect of the cake not look as good. So I hate painting it, so I really want to find a drip that looks like gold that isn't going to take that much effort. So we'll try this, and we'll laugh, and I'll show you what colour I get, so it might not even go anywhere near it. And lastly, the other thing we're going to tackle is, if you've ever done white chocolate before, you do your white chocolate and you think, oh, it's white, but actually it goes yellow because that's the colour of the cocoa butter inside there, and yeah, nobody wants a yellow drip. So I've tried it in different ways. I've done it with some extra white, didn't really do what I wanted it to do, so I bought some more of this. This is titanium dioxide, and it sounds so scary because it really does sound like a scientific experiment. But, so keep an eye on my cream, but it does work, but it needs heating. So I'm going to show you how to use titanium dioxide as well, and we're going to get a really nice white, fingers crossed, with this. So this is nearly coming up. I'm just going to grab myself a spatula and come straight back. Right, here we go. It's coming up. Immediately from this straight in. Don't want any of that to cool. And we're just going to pour that over the top. That's it. And we're going to just leave it alone. Pop that there ready and forget about that. Right. So my drip at the moment looks like a blob. So if I was going to drip with this, it's going to do that. And that's not going to do anything. So that's not the consistency you want at all. So I'm going to pop this into the microwave and then show you the consistency that this drip needs to be. Bear with me. Right. The consistency you want is this. See here, it's free falling on my finger. It's not coming in blobs, it's not coming in clumps. It's free falling. And that's what you're looking for. So when you store it to one side, make sure that you put cling film across the top of it and that the cling film touches the ganache. And the reason for that is that you don't want that skin to form over the top. So, okay, push this right down, touch the top, and that's it then. And just leave that to one side until you need to use it. And if when you do go to use it, it's just solidified up that little bit more, pop it back in the microwave for a minute and just heat it very, very slightly. You don't want it hot because you're going to melt the buttercream, but you just want it to loosen. Okay, so that's your drippable one, done in exactly this way, but just with different measurements. So now we're going to go to this one and stir. And it'll look strange, and it comes up like bitty, which makes you think that you've done something wrong, but you haven't. Right, around the sides, and it takes a minute to mix it all in. I just tend to just stick this into the middle and just keep going round and round in circles, and it picks it up and starts mixing it all around. But when you don't do it too vigorously because you don't want too much air in there, because otherwise you'll take away from that real glossiness. So we're beginning to get there, and it's so nice when you see it come into the top because the shine just comes right through and it's so nice. And this is how you do the drip with all of them. So I'm going to put measurements in and the ratios for the different types of ganache that there are, but this is the way you do it with all of them. So like I said, you could have put this in the microwave if you didn't want to do it on the side, and you would just do it in 30-second bursts because you don't want to go over, you don't want to be too hot, and give it a stir. But when you do take it out of the microwave, just make sure that you leave it for a few seconds like we did, just because you want that heat to melt it. There's just so much here. It's just taking so long. Ah, here we go, it's beginning to come through. Oh, lovely. Here comes that silkiness across the top. So nice. You can see, here we go, see, it's there. Cool. And next we're going to tackle that white chocolate. Oh look, I'm getting a bit impatient and vigorous. I'm hitting it all off the sides. If you need to use this quite quickly as well, I'll show you how to do a water bath to bring the temperature down. You don't want to put this into the fridge. If you put it into the fridge, the round the sides are going to get cold, and then in the middle is going to get cold. So to try, once you've made it, it can go in the fridge, and then you just bring it back up to temperature when you want it. But to cool it, you don't want part of it to be refrigerated and another part not to be, because you can get hard bits in your ganache. So I can, if you haven't got the time just to leave it on the side, I'll show you how we can do a water bath to crash this temperature down in a bit. Right, look. So good. Right, there is nothing else to do with this. Just check my sides, make sure it's all incorporated, which it is. Oh, it just looks so good. Lift it up and do this, and make sure there's no lumps, which I have actually got a couple of lumps in there, so I think we might have to give it a 30-second in the microwave. So when I lift it, there are a few lumps of chocolate. Look there, that's going to come down in it. There we go. Right, this is going to have to go in the microwave for about 30 seconds so that I can make sure everything is completely melted. So 1 sec. 30 seconds, done, and chocolate everywhere. There we go. Lovely. So if I lift it again here, make sure they are all, just leave that for a second because there's a couple of tiny bits in there. And it might sound picky, but I just don't want lumps of chocolate in it. So it's very, very small, but I need that heat just to let them melt for a minute. And the more that I keep stirring, I'm putting cold air into it and I'm stopping that temperature from doing its thing. So I'm going to pop this into the bin. I'm going to get the white chocolate ready, and then we will take it from there. There we go. Brilliant. It's all melted. So now, as you can see, just then I had a slight skin coming across the top there, so it really doesn't like to be left for too long at all. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to cover it over and cling film. Oh, move that to there. I'm going to leave this on the side. So now you've done 3 ways. We've got whipping, drip, truffle. We'll sort this one out in a minute, but first, before I do that, make sure this is touching the top. Stop that air from getting in. Right, so I'm going to start the white chocolate because I want it to rest. That there, let's get rid of these here for a moment. Right, white chocolate then. Drip. I have got in here 200 grams of white chocolate, and I've got 100 grams of double cream. A lot of people say 3 to 1. I find that this one's not quite as... I find the 2 to 1 works better with the regular chocolate, so let's see how we go. Okay, so 2 to 1 there with this, and I've got my titanium dioxide, my spoons, and if you look at most of your packets of things, like, let's have a look at this, because I know it sounds scary. Most of your white things, here on the ingredients, it says titanium dioxide, so if you look, this isn't scary, this is in most lightning things. We're just buying it in a cheaper form. Instead of buying expensive products, we're going to just go, this is quite cheap, and it's so simple to use, so long as you know how to use it properly. Right, I've got my spatula just here, which I need. So titanium dioxide is very powdery, very thick and grainy. If you lift it up, you can feel it's chalky between your fingers. Now, if I was to make this, and then put it over the top, and try and mix it in, you'll get the grip going all the way through, and that's just not nice. It also likes heat to activate and work. So I'm going to take, on the back it tells you, so that you can see what it says, for 200 grams of chocolate they recommend 5 to 6 grams Let's see what that looks like. Because I'm used to just using what I normally do. My scales. Let's have a look. So let's see what I can see in spoons what 5 to 6 grams is. There we go, exact. So it's a teaspoon. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put that directly into the cream, because as that cream heats, so is this going to heat. It's going to start doing what it wants to do, and it's also going to dissolve in there, so we haven't got those big chalky bits throughout. So, saucepan, put this in, a stir around, already on the sides, see, it just likes to lump up. Put this in. Right, there we go, and we're going to put this on to boil, exactly the same as we did last time. If I can work my oven. Right, leave that on the side, and what you need to do with this one, unlike the other one, is you need to be stirring it. If you're adding colour to your the drip, and where did my words go then? I've no idea. If you're adding colour, add the colour again to the double cream. Heat and colourings, you know, they work so well together. Have you noticed you put colouring into batter to make those rainbow cakes, and you colour all your batter up and you put it in, and when it comes out it's a lot brighter and darker than what it was initially. That's the heat. So I always recommend putting things into something where you can heat it with colours. Right, look, around the outside of the bowl, don't know if you can see, let me see what you can see there. Here, when I'm breaking those grains up, they're really leaving behind white. So that's what we're trying to do. The bottom of my pan, as I'm stirring, it's got like white paint across the bottom of it. So I remember when I first ever did this, I was like, oh my god, titanium dioxide, that sounds horrible. But it's so good. I get mine on Amazon, I think, so it's quite easy to pick up. Right. Oh, here we go, it's about to come up. Brilliant. Right, and remember, straight over the top on the drips. There we go. It's still got little bits of grit in the bottom of there. Most of it has dissolved, and then when it hits this it should dissolve, so I'll put that away. Over there. And again, we're just going to leave this. Now because there's less, just try and, there we go. Cover it over, and then we're going to sort that out there. Right, turn this off. Truffles. I've got these spoons here, and I find them fab. I've got some plastic ones too, and they're just as good. But I find that this, I can use these for other things as well. So I've got half a tablespoon. Right, heat this. Straight in, and then move the bowl round. There we go, and use my fingers just to pop it out. So heat that again. I mean, it's round enough for me, but we can, once they're out and they're set like this, we can get some gloves and mould them back round again. But wait till they're a bit harder. And with these truffles, instead of the full amount of cream, you could have added some Baileys. That would have been nice. To make Baileys ones, you can use chocolate orange to make orange truffles. There's so many things. There's different essences out there. You can get raspberry, strawberry, and then when it's in this form, you just put a couple of drops of the flavouring in, taste it as you go in. You can make coffee. There are so many things you can do. You can just pop in different flavourings, and then you've got really nice truffles. And you can do little sweet boxes. You can get boxes and give them to people for birthdays and Christmas. It's really nice. And your freedom to decorate everything as well then, which is nice too. Right, for a moment, let's revert back to this. Otherwise it's going to go cold. We're going to forget about it. And we're going to stir all this up. See how much whiter it has become, and it's still got that yellow tinge to it. Not as yellow as what it normally would have been. See, this is already so much thicker, and this is why people struggle sometimes with white chocolate. It's so different than plain or milk chocolate to use. So, right. So this is going to get to go in the microwave, because as you can see, I've got lumps coming down, okay? I want this a little bit whiter as well, so I am going to add a 1/4 teaspoon, and then that'll take me up to the 6. And then this will dissolve with the heat of the microwave. So we'll just put that in and give it a little stir. And then we're going to pop this into the microwave and keep stirring until it comes to a complete texture where it is all melted. So 1 sec. Right, this is where we want it to be. Ooh, I'm sticking everywhere. Here we are, free falling. No grit, no lumps. That's perfect now. And this is the kind of consistency we need it to be to drip, but at the moment it's far too hot because we've put heat into it to make sure everything melts. So we're going to put cling film over the top, and then it's going to solidify up that little bit more, and then we're going to put some very low heat onto it again, just to bring it back to this form, but it won't be hot to go on the cake. But we'll deal with that in a moment. The colour, it is lighter than it was. I mean, by no means it's not white. But that would have been extremely yellow and not just have that yellow tinge to it. So that's what titanium dioxide does. Now, if we want to whiten it up a little bit more, we could add some white. How am I going to get this out? That was clever. My finger. And that was a 1/4 teaspoon of the white while it's still warm, so that that activates. This is a lot of the problem with white chocolate, is trying to get the white into it. And there we go, and that's taking it down a little bit more again. There we are. That's as good as I think I'm going to get that. And we'll leave that then to just rest now and do its thing until we need that for the top of the cake later. Right. Let's fight with a bit of cling film. Here we go. Pushing it all the way down. Right, let's put that to the back. We don't need that yet. Let's get rid of the titanium dioxide and my extra white. So, let's finish off these balls. What did I do? Here it is. Right, I'm just going to do one more of these to show you. And then we need to think about how we're going to decorate them. So, That's a strange old shape. There we go. It's a bit smaller though. My water's not as warm as what it should be there now. So we've got a couple there anyway. I'll cover this over and use this later. And then we're going to let these just completely cool. I'm actually going to pop them in the freezer. And I wonder if I get some gloves now, we can mould those round. So hang on, let's get some gloves. Okay, I'm armed with gloves. Pop it there. And there we go. Roll that round in my hand, pop it back down. There we go. Whoop. There we go. That makes that much better. And then I'm going to pop these into the freezer, and then we're going to decorate these up when they're frozen. So let's go and pop those in the freezer. Right, the other thing I said I would try with you is these candy melts. Never used these. I bought them specifically for this. Never used them. See lots of people saying that they can be annoying because they go thick or something. But should we try them? We'll try them. We'll try them together. So, I believe on the back of this it's telling me by their instructions to put it in the microwave, melt for 30 seconds at half power, repeat until, right, so 30 seconds, so like ganache. So I'm going to go over and put this in, and then we're going to see what it comes out like. So I'll tell you how long it takes me. Right, I've grabbed some oil. I can see what people are saying. I mean, it's really white, but that's thick. I don't think I'm getting a drip out of that. Look, it's not free flowing, which is what we need. So I actually thought I added some cream to it, but it says oil and it's oil based. So let's put a little bit of oil in. It makes me feel a bit sick. I'm sure it's fine. Right, let's see if that thins it down. I suppose if I added cream, it wouldn't be. It's going to take it down like cream is, whereas at the moment, I suppose it's just safe to be out at room temperature for as long as, I don't know, it doesn't tell me. Right, yeah, I mean it's coming now. That's better. I still think I'm going to need more. I'd say now I've got about half a teaspoon. I've used half a bag and half a teaspoon of vegetable oil now. Yeah. Still wouldn't say. Right, okay. Kind of, tiny little bit more. Right, that's better. So 3/4 of a, I don't know, what have I used? A tablespoon possibly of oil in there. Here we go then. So that is our candy melts. So it's a lovely colour. If you wanted a vibrant, bright colour, that's a really, I mean, it's certainly done its job in that way. We'll cling film it over, we'll see how it rests, and we'll come back to it. I mean, it's certainly whiter than what the white chocolate is that I've made. But I take it I'm doing the same thing by putting it across the top. There we go. See, we can try these things together, can't we? Right, we'll add that to our little pie. Look at the difference straight away. Yeah, I mean, it's lovely and white, so we'll see. Let's get rid of my oil. Okay, we can't do anything else with any any of these drippy things, that is essentially ganache, okay? So we have got our ganache that we're going to put on the cake. That was a 1-to-1 ratio. We've got the drip, which was just slightly different with ratios. I wouldn't even be able to make one up, as you can tell, and you know me by now that I'm no good at maths. So that was my 150 chocolate to 130 double cream. So that was my drip. And then we have the truffles, which I put here, and that's 2-to-1, gives you this. And then I used 2-to-1 on my white chocolate as well. So you have ganache. We will sort out those truffles later. We're going to use the white chocolate, either or, and the candy melts. We've done this too. We have a lot of chocolate here. The last thing I want to show you though, before we get onto the cake, is I want to crash this down in temperature in a water bowl to show you how you can crash this down quite quickly and safely. So that's the last thing, and then we're going to get onto the cake. So see you in a minute. Right then, I've got a bowl with icing, and then I've transferred the ganache into a jug because I don't want any water getting into it, and I can just tuck the handle over the top. With the ice. Oh my god, that's cold. There we go. I don't want any water to get inside, and if I put the handle over, it's just going to secure it. That was cold. Right, and literally you're just going to allow it to sit in there, and you're just going to stir it around. Keep scraping those sides, and that is going to stop it doing what it would do in the fridge. It is going to naturally get colder around the outside, but because you're stirring it delicately, you do not want to put air into it because you'll lose that sheen. Scrape the bottom, and you're just going to keep moving that temperature down, and it takes literally about 5 minutes. I know it's boring, but it takes hours off of waiting for it to come to temperature. So you can do this with so many things with a water bath that you shouldn't put things in the fridge for. For example, in my tutorial for making the really deep colours of the black and the red, we melt the butter, and I use a water bath. In the red method, I show you the water bath to bring that butter back up without it separating, doing this exactly the same way. So I do love my water bath. Right, I'm going to leave you until this has done what I want it to do. So I'll see you soon. Right then, so this came to its form exactly the way I wanted it. So I'm now just going to put this into a bowl. Oh look. So nice. Right. Get rid of that. Can I use this piece of cling film again? Don't like wasting it. There we go. Just pop that in there. Brilliant. Okay, and we're going to leave that to one side for the moment. Right, we're going to make this buttercream now. So you've got your chocolate buttercream, and we are going to put this into the mixer, and then we are going to add ganache to it. So mine's quite thick. Haven't added any of, I only added 1 tablespoon of water to this. And the sun's disappeared, so it's a colder day again. Right, just don't want to waste any of this. So I'm going to go all into the mixer. And then the drip ganache, I don't want to waste any. The ganache I made for the drip is going to go in. So this in here was 150 grams of chocolate and 130 grams of the double cream. that in, get rid of this. And pop this in, and this is going to give it a lovely silky flavour. And put that in there as well. There we are. Right, let's get the paddle. Now I've got my cream in one here, I don't know where my other one is. So I'm just going to pop that on, so you'll have to stop and stir. So, oh, it mixes up so nicely with that ganache in there. That's why I was happy for it to be quite stiff. Wow, that looks lovely. So while that's going around, we need to get our cake. So, this in here. I've got a board, okay, board bigger than my cake so that I can get the scrape around it. That is looking so good. Yep. Let's just give it a scrape down, make sure it's all incorporating nicely. Oh, the smell. Right, it's quite thick, so I'm going to put a little bit of water in that. It looks so nice. Right, so I'm going to go and get, I think, half a tablespoon of water. I actually think I jumped the gun a little bit there. It's blended in lovely. I don't want to add any water to that at all. Oh, this is so nice. Putting that chocolate in really does make such a difference. Don't waste it. Right. Okay, so now, same as usual. Into the piping bag. Push it down as far as you can. And then we're going to get our sponges and we're going to stack up the sponges the same as what we did last week. To make sure that all those edges are completely straight. Right, there we go. That to one side. Oops, move this away. Right. Okie doke. And let's get our sponge. Just make sure this is all the way down. So again, make sure the air can get through. And push it down. There we are. Makes it a different consistency anyway with the ganache in there, so it's really nice to work with. Where's my sponges? Here they are. Right, that's better. I just moved my mixer out the way to give me more room there. Right, let's open them up. Now I've levelled mine, same as what we did last week. So I've got my chocolate sponge all levelled. So we're not doing anything differently than what we've done to make the cake last week. Scissors. Okay, chop off the bottom. There we go. My little blob on the bottom there. So it stays secured to the board and doesn't spin off everywhere. Same as before, upside down in the centre. Here we are. Okay, and then same as before. We go all the way round. I never seem to get this central, but still. Okay, so same as last week. So I'm going to do all these now and come back to you when that is all stacked, because you know what you're doing now, because we did this with the white chocolate. Lovely. Okay, come back to you in a moment. Okay, here we are. Put some across the top, just as before, and then just same as we have done before. You can feel it's a lot thicker to work with, so pop it into the middle just like last time. Watch this hand, make sure it's straight. Keep looking at your hand. There we go. Alright, any parts here then that you can see it didn't touch, fill that bit back up again. Just there. The outside. And then we're going to go in again. So you don't want to push in too much now. So tip, take your hand around. Don't look at the cake, look at your finger there. Keeping it straight. There you go. Now we have a completely straight top, just like last time. So we are now just going to go around and just make sure that all of those bits are in and happy. There we go. Wrap it in cling, pop it in the fridge. Same as what we did before. And as soon, I'm nearly at the end, and I can't find my end of my cling film. Right, so we're going to get that in the fridge, 45 minutes, same as last time, just to make sure that it's all nice and cool and easier to work with. And then we are going to whip up the ganache, put a little base cover on what we've got left of the buttercream, and then whip up the ganache, and we will be there. So, I'll see you soon. Oh, I haven't put the parchment paper on, but I've got a lovely flat top, so instead I'm just picking it up into the middle and twisting it like that so the air doesn't get in. There we go. And that makes life even easier. So push it in. It's all straight. Tea time. See you soon. Right, while that's in the fridge, I thought we would have a look at these truffles. So I have just melted some white chocolate in here with some titanium dioxide just to take that colour out of it. And I am going to poke a hole in one of these with my little thing. And then in here, just give this a swirl around, twisting it into the chocolate, like that. Making sure it's all coated. There we go. And then bring it up and just tap it. Just to make sure we get all that excess chocolate off. Tap in. You can see I've got a little ridge there and I want to bring all that down. Tune. Right, and that's one. Just set that down there. Cool. Push this off. Oh, that's got stuck. Right, turn that upside down there. Okay. This a wipe. And do it again. Right, spin. I've done a lot of chocolate here, so it's struggling to. Right. I've only got a couple, so I'm going to do a smaller batch of chocolate, so it's not as easy to dip it in. hold that up there. Dries quite quickly. Okay, that's the second one. Let me just get something smaller just to help ease this off. Ba-bum-bum. Right, and another one. So just push that. There we go. And it's pretty dry anyway. And there was the second one. So this one here, just push that in, doctor that up a little bit. Right, and then if you want to coat them, I'll show you now how you can do that. Right, I just melted my chocolate back up a little bit more, so if it does start setting a little bit, especially with white, again I've done it with white chocolate, which isn't the easiest. Right, let's go in again, not too far in. Okay, and then if you can see what I'm doing here, I'm just touching the sides and spinning it around. There we go. Right. And cover the bottom of that. Not quite got it in. There we are. Just needed to cover that bottom part. Right. Then over the top here, just whilst it's wet, there we go, and you cover them over like that. If it's dried up, just pop it back in and then pick up the bits all the way around like this and just keep going. So again, back in there. You don't want to do, you only want to do this when you want to add the top pieces, because you can't go back in afterwards because it'll be a complete mess. Look at hundreds and thousands everywhere. Right. Okay. So that's the idea. Now, you can make these a lot tidier if you use more, if you use a lot more, if you do more of them and you've got more chocolate in there, you just take it up and then tap the sides instead. So, there we go. Right, that's not the prettiest of ones. So you've got here a regular, just, you don't have to do anything, you can just have it like that. Here's the white chocolate ones. They look lovely. They do look really, really nice. And then you could always paint them, or we could put some gold dust across the top of them. So I could paint some, brush some gold dust over the top of that. I'll show you what that looks like. One sec. Pick up one of these. Got some gold dust. And with a brush, I've got a set of makeup brushes that I keep to one side, obviously. Brush over the top of it completely. There we go. And then that gives you a gold truffle, a white truffle, a regular one, and a half-hearted, strange-looking one, which I'm sure you could do a lot better. See, not everything I do turns out really well, because that's a right mess. And then if I get a knife and cut that open, you can have a look and see what it looks like. That's my way of saying, let's just cut this because it's such a mess. And there we go, you've got that chocolate all the way through on the inside there. So that's some ideas for truffles, but just make sure that when you do melt your chocolate, you bring it up to about halfway so that you can dunk it in and pull it back out again, not try and do it on the sides like I did. So there we are, that's another thing to do with ganache. Righty, here we go. Here it is. Lovely. Brilliant. Okay, now I haven't got loads of this left, so I am going to push you now to be using it in a different way than what we did last time. Right, this is really stiff. So you're never going to use it like this. So if you go to use buttercream, you want it to be this stiff. But to work with, if I put this onto the cake, that's going to tear it immediately. So what I need now is to get something that is going to go in the microwave. And you can do this with buttercream. So if your buttercream is particularly stiff when you go to use it, but you're worried to add water to it because you know that if it gets warm or anything that you're going to lose it, it's going to just make it sloppy and wet. Pop it in the microwave for around about 5 or 10 seconds just to slacken it off a little bit. You can use it then on the cake, and the minute that the air starts hitting it again and the cold environment, it's going to solidify back up again to exactly where you want it to be. So let's put this in the microwave and I'll be back. Right, that was about 8 seconds and look. So much easier for us to use now. So we're going to take the knife. Right, let's move you forward. Okey-doke. Right, let's take some of this, not on the front, and you're just going to literally just scrape it on all the way around. There we go. Using a back and forward motion, so kind of on and back and on and back. Okay? And then make sure you've got it all on the bottom first. That's what we're worried about. So like this bit here I haven't, so let me get the knife in there, make sure it's all on the bottom. It's not again there. So turn the knife to the side. There we go. Now the bottom's looking lovely. Take the rest. Always high up on the tops. Okay. All the way around. Make sure just enough buttercream for this. Okay, and the top parts. Really important. In with our scrapers, just like we did last time, except I'm not heating it. So let's get this here, scraper, fingers apart. My fingers are covered in chocolate. Right, let's get those fingers apart, holding on to the scraper. Let's follow our eye, other side, down here, so I'm looking on this part here, in, and you're just looking at the bottom and making sure that it doesn't come out, okay? Lock your arm, get it on the board. We're on the board, see mine? Then slide it in, okay? Make sure that you push until it meets the whole thing, all right? Keep this on. Don't move it, just move the board. Keep it still. Push down into the bottom. Just keep looking at that one part. Push down, it's not lifting, it's not lifting. Right, okay? We've got quite a bit left. And you can see through here, we didn't have enough on, so use your scraper that you've got. And we're just going to cover this over once more. It's too narrow. Put that on there. Keep looking around. Where else? I've got a big dent here. Take it off your scraper. fill it in there. The cake's coming through a fair bit just here, so I'm just going to pop a little bit extra onto there. Right, I've just got it all over the board. There we go, I made that worse. Okay, scrape it off. Let's go again. Right, it's on the board, okay, all the way. Push it in, it's all meeting, okay. Lock that wrist, that arm, 45-degree angle, and just move the table. Just keep looking, nowhere else. Keep looking down. It's doing its job, you just need to look. There we go. Okay, straight with the coming. Right, and then we'll have another little look again. Say my cake might be slightly, is it uneven there at the bottom? I've got cake coming back through. I'm just filling it in. Oh, I don't know if you heard that. That's my dog moaning because she wants to see me. Right. Okay, I think that we're ready to have one more go around. And then I think we're going to be done with the buttercream. Righty-ho. In we go. Right, now we're not really pushing in, we're resting on the top, okay? So we're more gliding now. Still same thing, 45 degrees, lock your elbow, and now we're going gently round. Okay? Just gliding around. Lovely. Oh, happy days. Right, I still have got some bits that are skipping, so go back in and fill them. Like this bit here, let me just fill that bit there. Oh, and I've got a really long bit there, so let's fill that round as best as I can. Right, and then give it one more glide. I'm moving this out of the way because I'm not quite getting my wrist out, so I'm not grabbing round too well. Okay, just touching now on the board, then go in, and we're gliding. It's only just touching that cake. Keep looking in that one direction, never anywhere else. There we go. Excellent. Look at that. Right. We have a perfectly smooth cake there. Right, we're going to do something about this. So I'm just going to pull it across, pull it across. Okay. Spin that. So put it on, spin. Put it on, spin. Put it on, spin. You'll be saying this in your head like I do. You'll be like, spin, spin. Right. So lock it. Right. Make sure it's straight. And spin it. Wipe. Make sure it's straight. Spin it. Okay. Spin it. And spin. And spin. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at my dog. Absolutely bad. She's not on her own. There are people in the house. She's just marginally obsessed. Right. So I'm going to do this once more because of the lip, and then what stays on the top is staying there for the moment. Right. So straight, but this time when you go in straight you're going to have to push in a bit at the top there, okay? 45 degree angle, keep it locked down, And just look at that bottom part, make sure it's always touching the cake. Your board's not lifting, you're just looking at the bottom, not concerned with anything else. Fantastic! There we go. So, my sides are straight. I've got a couple of little marks going in here, but we're ganaching, so I'm not overly concerned. Right, we are now going to play with this ganache. So pop this cake the way it is back into that fridge for a minute, and then we're going to sort out the ganache. Okay, right, here we are. Here's the ganache. It's still quite wet, but this is the whippable one. Okay. If you wanted to be able to take this and just put it straight on the cake, if you left this overnight, it would come more solid, or if you kept it in the water bath for longer. But I want to whip it because I just prefer using it whipped, even though it's going to get lighter. It's really just your choice. So I'm going to whip this up off camera. Make sure it's in a deep enough bowl, or because it really needs to get the air in there. And then I'll be straight back to you. Right, I'm all whipped up. Look, it's so lovely and smooth. I really like working with it like this, but I've kept half of mine back so that I can show you the darker amount as well. Right, so now we're going to put this on, and we're going to put it on in exactly the same way as what we did with the other buttercream. So that cake has had about 10 minutes in the oven. That cake had about 10 minutes in the fridge. Imagine if you had put it in the oven. Now that would be different. Okay, top first. Take some, put it on the top. You can see the air in it. It's quite bubbly. That's fine. Now ganache dries quite quickly, so we need to get it on and then be happy with it and then ready to leave it. So we're going to put it all around those sides, especially hanging over the sides here. And then we're going to do our spinning thing. So don't push in too much, it's quite light and airy. So just really across the top here, okay, watch that arm and spinning all the way around. Keep the arm as still as you can. I've done it again, I'm putting bowls in places where I can't work properly. Okay, I've missed a bit there and here, so I'm obviously too low down. So just bring it up. The rest seems happy. So back in I go, put this straight, slight tilt, watch your arm, spin it all the way around. There we go, we've knocked that now. Brilliant. So we've got a completely flat top. So now we're going to go in like just like we did before on the sides. So we're going to cover the bottoms all the way through. All the way around on the bottom. Try not to throw it everywhere. Right, that's my bottom bit done. Oh, I've got my water on the back, you know what that means. Let's turn it down. It's going to boil away. Right, then we come in to this part. Don't worry if it hits over the top, that's kind of what we want. And we're coming all the way around. There we go. Ooh. Right. Ooh. Right, that's it. I really am throwing ganache everywhere now. Okay. Still going all the way around. I'm nearly there. Oh, right. And one bit left. Right. That's covered in chocolate. Right, now I'm going to take the scraper again. Don't push too hard with this. Oh wow, something fell. Okay, don't push them too hard because it's really airy and you kind of cut straight back, so we're gliding straight away. On the board, it's meeting here, okay? You're happy? You've got control of the board, of this. Push it in, keep it on that 45-degree angle and turn. Oh, look, I ruined my own thing. Look, it left. I looked up to see what fell. And look what happened, I completely ruined that. Right, Ginny, listen to yourself. Okay, it's down and turn. All the way. There we go. So I can see where my bits are, but obviously, I mean, I'd never put it on properly anyway by eye like that, so we need more here. I need more in a lump sum there. I need a lump here, here. Oh, a lot here. That was not the best, was it? Okay, got that across there now. And let's have another go. To me, I look like I'm going like this, so I don't know what I've done here. Right, let's get this. It's on the board. Okay. And I'm going in and all the way around. There we go. Okay, I seem to be going like this, so I'm looking at the top now. So fill in those bits again. There's one there. There's one there. Here. Let's get some on this top. You really want it to be lipping over on the top. And there. Okay, and we're going to go again. Okay. And this time, I'm looking up here, I'm looking where the cake joins the board. So, look at your cake, push in your board, push in your, on a 45-degree angle, okay, push it in. Touching the bottom, I've got a problem here, hang on. I'm going to take all of the top away. Got a big chunk just there that's not right at all. There we go. I couldn't meet. So let's try again. Right. There we are. Now I'm meeting. So in, look at the top. Excellent. That's better. Right, if you can see here, I've cut back. That's where I have obviously made the mistake earlier, so we're just going to cover that back over. I think my sponges on this side were slightly out, so I had the problem when we were doing the other one as well, but it's always fixable. Right, I'm happy. Very nearly done with this, so let's go in and around. Right, I've completely scraped off that, but I've gone straight. Yeah, I think I ducked in a little bit on one part. See, it really is all just about filling and going in and filling and going in. And time, really. If if you panic, then it's not going to help you in any way. There is nothing there that can't be fixed. There we go, that's much better. Looking on my camera at what you can see, and it's looking straight as well. So, slightly out here, which I'm not overly happy with. So I'm going to give it a whole, going all the way up to cover, because I think I've taken one section away that I shouldn't have done. So in I go again. Oh, much more. I've got that. So I just took, see this bit here? Right, now I'm going to go all the way around and I'm going to glide. Not pushing, just gliding. So into the board. There we go. Okay. And barely touching. Keep looking in one place and just glide. Glide it all the way around. Look at that now. So much better. Right. And guess where this cake goes now? Back in the fridge. Ganache doesn't take long to set. So this will probably take about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to show you what to do with the other, with this one that I've got here. We're going to do the drip and then we're going to be done. So I'm just fixing my little mess up that I've got here. Lovely. Brill! And this can go into the fridge. When this is set, we'll slice it off like we did before. You always want that overhang because that's going to give you that sharp edge. So if it's not an even overhang all the way around, build more up so that it does. So we'll pop this in the fridge and we'll come back in about 15 minutes. While that's in the fridge, anything you've got left, we're just going to mix in together. So I've got ganache here, and then I've got that leftover buttercream that I had earlier. Don't waste anything because we can use this for decoration. So that just all gets mixed in together. So any ganache, any buttercream left, all in. It's all clean. Pop some cling film over it and we can use that up later. Right, got this out the fridge. So now I've got this runnier one, which I hate working with, but I'm going to show you. So put it on and just wipe it around the cake. And you're not putting layers on at this point, you were just wiping it around the cake. It just falls everywhere. This is the bane of my life. Right. Keep going. So we're going to cover the whole cake in this. This will give it a lovely shine, you know, when we eventually get it on. Very careful because it likes to dry very quickly. So we've really got to try and get this on quite quick to be able to get the bench scrape around it. Go. You want to make sure that the ganache obviously underneath this has been chilled, because otherwise you'll be lifting that up at the same time. It's certainly not what you want. I'm putting a drip on this cake, so I'm not really interested in the top because it's going to be different anyway. If it doesn't feel as if you've got enough, don't worry, because when you go around with the scraper, it is going to lift some of this off and you can take it around. And just do it with the palette knife, so if you just scrape around the bottom there yourself, just gently, you're not lifting anything, then you'll be able to just move it to places. There we go, moving it up and around the cake. Right, let's go in, and we are literally skimming, okay? So find your area and skim. There we go, okay? And then take the bits off of the side, just put them where they need to be, where you've got big chunks. And we're just going to do the very same thing, which is just smoothing and filling and smoothing and filling. I imagine you must be good at doing the bathrooms or something, or tiling with all this smoothing and filling. After doing all this? Or maybe I'm just talking rubbish. Right, in I go, and I'm gliding it's on the board. Looking in the same place. Look at the sheen that is starting to come on the outside of this cake. Right, I've got a big gap here, so using the knife just to take it off, and then another section down here, and on the bottom. Starting to get tackier as we're going around. And again, gliding all the time, keeping it on the board. Looking in the same place. I'm looking at the top. One smooth action. Hey, look at this. Smooth and shiny. Right, going back in there, I've got a little hole down the bottom there. A little bit there, a little bit here. Looks like I've got a bit of bulb patch coming there. Right. Oh, what's happened here? Didn't notice that. I have a big lump there. There we go. And down the bottom. I'm not looking properly. Just fill those in. And go round again. Where shall I begin? Here. Right. We're so nearly there. Deciding to leave little holes in places just to upset me. And I don't want any holes on my ganache. I'm not having my husband criticise his cake. Not that he would, but you know. Right. And again. I'm pleased with that. Oh, that'll get cut off, so I'm not touching that. Right, sometimes less is more. I like to keep going in and play. Right, so I've got this line down here. So I'm going to just try and attempt to get that with some boiling water because I don't want that line. As you can see, it really stands out and that really bothers me. Actually, through your camera, I can see I've got some quite lumpy bumpy bits there. I think it'll dry off though, so I'm not overly concerned. Right, so I've got the heat. Here we go. Look, we just touch it. The joys of ganache. There we go. Just giving it a touch off and it's completely done there. Right, now I've got big shiny lights on that. That's really upsetting me. But from where I am, I can't really see it. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it. I think it's going to cover over. Now you could put another layer on that if you wanted to from the fridge, but with the drip, it's never going to be seen. So back in the fridge, then we're going to cut the top off and then we're going to add a drip and we're going to be done. So nearly there. Right, let's play with this drip. So I've got some gold dust, some lemon and some icing sugar and a bowl. I made some, which is here, which I actually don't think is too far off. So that is my ganache and my gold that I have made. So I'm going to see which one comes out better, because I might use the one I've made, but we'll see. We'll leave that there. So, ooh, it's a tablespoon of glitter, lustre dust, a tablespoon of icing sugar, and then and then it says vodka. I haven't got any. I've only got lemon. When lemon and vodka do the same thing. Right, in goes that. This is a lot. Like, that's all of it. In for a penny, in for a pound. Okay, right. So, I'm going to stir this up. Try and get the lumps out of it. God, all I can see is flecks of glitter in the air in front of me. Right, and then I'm going to put lemon juice in it. Trouble is using lemon, it's going to be quite, but it's only a little bit. Right. How much am I putting in? I suppose until it comes to the correct consistency. This is funny. All I can see is, oh, okay, right, maybe my, it's never going to be enough for a drip though. There's hardly anything there. But if you had to do quite a few of those, I mean, I used my whole tub of gold. I wonder if I added this to my, oh, I'm playing now. This is where my mind goes. I wonder if I added that to my white chocolate. Watch me ruin this now. I mean, I don't know if I even like the colour of this, but I can doctor it. Right, I'm going to go and warm this because it's gone, look, that's not drippable. Okay, so we need to go and warm this up so that it becomes drippable. And then I'm going to try and add that. Okay, it's made mine look, I don't know, like mustard. I'm not sure which one to add. I'll add this, and then if it's not nice, I can add this on top. We will make gold. So it's at the right oh god, I'm scared. What if it splits my white chocolate? We'll soon find out. Well, it's not split yet, so I'm safe putting it in. Let's put all of it in. So much lustre dust. Okay, right. Well, I mean, this isn't gold. I mean, that's just like a strange colour now. So, well, in for a penny. I'm going to heat this, because this is, and I'm going to have to put some of this in. Right, so here it is. Put it in the microwave, but it's split. So, that's quite good, because I can show you what happens if something does split. Pop a little bit of cream in the top. Stir it round. And it pulls it all back in together. There we go, we're back. So if you do, if at any point it splits, that's all you need to do. Right, let's put some of my, well, let's just put all of it in, look. So, I wasn't a fan of the lemon juicy thing, I'm sorry, no. So, ooh. I mean, this is like, let's move that way because it makes it look yellow. Where's my gold? I want to see what gold looks like. Right, it needs to be a bit more metallic than that, I think. I'm going to add a little bit more. To make this, I put primrose in, kiwi in, and magenta. And I'm going to add a little bit more magenta to darken that up a little bit. Where it is, there it is. It's difficult when you add colour in one big go, because it tends to get stuck around in there. I mean, I've got titanium dioxide in here, so it's lightening everything up, to be fair. But I actually don't mind this. And then I've got some lustre dust that I can add to that afterwards. So a little bit more of this green in. So I used a lot of the yellow, mostly lemon, the yellow, a lot. I say a lot. It was about half a teaspoon of the yellow. And then like little bits, like that amount of the magenta and the green. I mean, I think it's a strange colour, but anyway, we're going to go with it. I'm going to put lustre dust into it in a minute, and when we put it on. And that's going to give it its sparkle. In fact, I'm going to put some white in now. Let's put some snowflake just to give it some glitter. Because that's what you need, is that metallic kind of sheen coming off of it. Actually going to look at, right, I've got a gold here, which I don't like, it's dark. Look how that is anywhere near anything like that. That's not brown. So that's not that colour. And then I've got one of these gold paints, and that's far off, to be fair. I mean, that's a bit greener. Maybe I'll add a little bit more green. Let's just wing it. Right, and then I'm going to leave it alone, because at the moment it's something I can use, and if I keep going, it's going to very quickly become something I can't use. It actually said add a bit of black, which concerns me, and I didn't. But for the method of saying what I was told to do, I looked this up on Google on how to make gold, and this is what it told me to do. So, this is what I'm doing. Don't think that black did anything. Right. That's it. I'm not playing anymore. I'm done. That colour, whatever it is that you want to call it, is going on the top of that cake. And that's my gold. So you just saw me do that. So I used about half a teaspoon of primrose, a touch of magenta, a touch of kiwi, and a smaller touch of midnight black. And some sparkle from some white dust, lustre dust. Because that other method, you have to use loads to get a drip over a cake, so expensive. Oh well. Anyway, I tried it, we tried it. I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so we're out of the fridge. We're looking great. I've got my knife, I've got my boiling water on the back here, and we are going to slice. Right, so in we go. Okay, and lift. Oh, I've got a little bowl. There we go, put it on here with those truffles. Put the knife back in again. Just while I remove all this. And then we're going to go in again. Okay. Follow along. Ooh. Make sure it's flat. Don't move the knife, move the board. If it starts to become tacky, lift it off and we'll put the knife back in again. You don't want to drag it at all. Trying to pick all these pieces up. Sticky. Oh, that's decided to stick again, so I'm going to have to lift that back off in a second. We'll go back round to that. Okay, come back on again. There we are. Move that forward. And come back round here. There we are. Look at this for sharp edges. The ganache does leave a lovely sharp edge. I'm going back here. There we go. Right, let's have a look. Perfect. Right then. So now I'm just going to grab my palette knife back, wherever I've put it. There it is. Put this into the water as well, just for a second. And then I'm just going to bring those bits in. And then we will pop it back in the fridge while we get our drip ready, and then we'll be ready to go with the drip. Oh, just for a matter of, this is those candy melts. Here, look what they turned into. That's odd. So yeah, that's candy melts. Just making sure that it all comes around nicely. Just using the heat to melt it. Always coming in towards you. There you go. Just a little bit more heat and we'll come all the way around the top there. Slight little lip I've created here, so I'm going to use the knife just to correct that. If you see here where it melted, it's gone like this. Okay, so just across the top there. Lovely. That's better. That brought that back. Okay. I want to touch the edge now. There we are. Perfectly straight across the top there. I've got an air pocket there, it's annoying me. There we are. Right, now we are ready to pop that back in the fridge and get our drip ready. I popped it in the microwave and we are the right consistency, so it's falling, it's not coming off in blobs. I'm just going to add some of my other metallic dust just to see if that can put the nice sheen into that. I think all that did is went in my hair. Right, so I'm just going to use this. May not be the goldest thing in the world, but I tried. So I'm going to do this with the falling drip because that's what I like to use. If you've seen my videos before, I prefer the effect where it falls over the top rather than the forced drip going all the way around. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab that now. I'm going to do the forced drip on this and then we're nearly done. Right then. A cake must always be cold because that's what's going to make the drip do what you want it to. So I'm going to pour this across the top. What this colour looks like. It's already trying to set. So, right, I need more. Right, let's go across the front here. Okay, bring it to the front and push. And there and push. Push. Obviously this gives a lot bigger, thicker drips, but I just prefer that falling effect. Okay, can I see what I've done? Lovely, I like that. Right, let's put some more on the top. Right, where did we get to? Here. So, bringing it forward and push. Obviously the more you push down, the further it's going to go down. And again, come on across. And push. So we've done white chocolate here, but obviously if you wanted to do a different colour other than my strange gold colour, then you can just add any colour you like, just add it to that cream like I said. There we go. Right. last bit. Right, towards the edge, push that one, here, and push that. It's getting a bit sticky, so it's not wanting to fall as much. If you do get problems, you can just pop it back into the microwave. Right. Okay, let that go. Right, it will start setting on the top, so it won't look that great. So get your knife, put it in your water. Yeah. Give it a jiggle, 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 jiggle. There we go. Now if you wanted to see how to do the forced drip, then you can have a look at the link that I'll put underneath, where it goes more into detail about doing drips. But that's just a milk chocolate one. Right, that's nice and warm. We're just going to put this on the top. And come around, and then we can do that swirl here that people seem to do on the top. Just coming round and round. Moving. Oh, oh. There we go. So doing it that way, we just put the palette knife in and we move the table instead of moving the knife, and look, there we go. So that is our ganache cake, chocolate cake with gold drip, and I'm going to put this there for you, so you can see. I can't cut into this because I'm going to finish it off now for my husband's birthday. I'm just going to put some chocolate and stuff across the top. I will take a picture so you can see, but all I'm going to do is just load it up with loads of treat-sized chocolates. So that's today's tutorial. We've done lots and lots with ganache, and we have done a huge amount with chocolate. I feel chocolated out. I hope it's helped. I will try and put it in fact sheets underneath, the ratios, which one does what, and I'll even write how I did this gold drip if you were interested to buy the colours the same as what I did. Then you'd be able to make gold drip for a very long time if you use the colours just for that. So thank you so much. I'm going to clean up this board, get some pictures, and next week I think that we're going to make this cake. We're going to make a cake again. I will do the same off camera for you, and we're going to ganache it, and we are going to do fondant, and I'm going to show you how to get that fondant on these cakes properly. So look how far we've come. I hope you enjoyed it. Any problems or any questions, straight in the comments box as usual. The place where I do most of my work is the Facebook group that I will put into the link underneath. A lot of questions do come up there. People, you're all sharing your work for me on there as well. So if you want to join that, that would be great. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.